Hey there, it's Tony Butler, and I'm back. And today we're going to talk about 4 types of brand stories nearly every brand should consider developing for their sales and marketing mix. These stories have been tested and they have stood the test of time. Thousands of examples in the marketplace already. Successful storylines. Okay, but before I do that, please click like on this video, and if you haven't done so yet, please follow this channel. I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to build a content marketing system for your business. Whether you're a startup, SaaS, e-commerce, B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. Primal Storytelling is a content marketing system for humans. Okay, also at the end, I'm going to make you an offer to help you get started on your content marketing journey, so don't drop off midway or you'll miss out. Okay, there are 4 brand story structures that I teach in the Primal Storytelling system. The first 2 are the origin story and the vision story. These are the foundational stories that help audiences understand the why and the how of what you do for the world. The second story structures are transformation stories, value themes. They help you connect your tribe with yourself and let them know what they can expect to gain and the value of their relationship with you. You know, those stories are what you're going to do to build your whole content program. Okay, so let's start with the first one, the origin story. It's the starting place for most brands, especially if you're a small business or maybe you're a startup where the founder is contemporary, okay, and a real person. You know, the story of struggle, why a founder started the company, that can help connect the audience with the brand. People love origin stories. Look as an example, look at the Marvel universe. Many of the movies that told the story of how the hero came to be, those are the best movies. Think of the first Iron Man, the first Captain America, as cases in point. They're really strong origin story movies and audiences love them. In a brand origin story, you're going to focus on why the founding. The most altruistic and aspirational, the better. Think of Elon Musk and the founding of SpaceX. It's a crazy story. No one starts a space company. Musk had no experience in building a spaceship. He didn't have any experience in government or aerospace industries, and yet, he wanted to change space travel in order to save the human species from extinction. I mean, how crazy is that? It's a great story. It just is. But you don't have to be trying to colonize space to have a good founding story. Every entrepreneur that wants to change how the world does business and put their own spin on even an old business model, they're going to have a good story. Why you're in business matters because it will define who you are and also who you're trying to help. The second story is the vision story. It focuses more on what your company is trying to accomplish long term. Back to the SpaceX example, Elon Musk, he's trying to colonize Mars. Over the last 19 years, he's proven that SpaceX, very likely they can accomplish the goal, but it wasn't always like that. When he first started talking about that vision, he didn't have any concrete evidence he could possibly, build a rocket ship and get people to Mars, but he electrified the world with the goal. There's no doubt in my mind that without such a strong vision for the company, SpaceX would not have survived and thrived in the way it has. If he had gone with a smaller vision, more along the lines of, we're going to try to improve on the space shuttle, I think he would have failed. If he had said, hey, we're just going to do space tourism, it's kind of cool, but it's not exciting, not nearly as much as, hey, we're going to become an interplanetary species and I'm going to plant a flag on Mars. I mean, that's a big vision, pretty exciting. Investors wouldn't have been nearly as excited at the prospect of a new space company without a big vision. He definitely would not have garnered even a fraction of the free publicity he's received, the worldwide attention, all of which have helped the company, get in business, establish a niche, give them a chance, raise money. It's done a lot for them. You're going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not Elon Musk. You're right. No one can copy Elon Musk, but we can all learn from the lesson. A well-articulated vision absolutely can propel a company. Think about the companies that are promising to do good with just profit, like Newman's Own. I like them a lot. They're a good example of a more mundane type business model. They produce great food and they donate the profit to charity. To date, they've raised millions of dollars. The story drives initial buyers, and then their strong product, it drives repeat customers. It's a beautiful model. You can use either one of these models in a really strong way, okay? So moving on, third story structure is the transformation story. This is your customer's experience. What was life like before they met you? What problem were they trying to solve? Then one day they meet you, and somehow, some way, they start to work with your incredible brand. And through the course of working with you or buying your product, they solve their problem. Their life has changed. Or maybe you just made their life a little better. For B2B businesses, transformation stories will often be in the form of case studies, product reviews, maybe even testimonials. They can be some of the most important part of a content for a complex sales process. If you've got salespeople and they're trying to meet new leads and talk to leads and take them through a sales process, so that suspect, prospect, then opportunity. Transformation stories can be a big part of that sales process. The bigger the problem you solve for a person, the more important and effective the transformation story will be. Have you ever seen a dramatic weight loss picture of someone who, maybe they're really, really obese and they lost hundreds of pounds, and then, they went on and became a fitness model? Those are inspirational stories. The story can sell the product and the service itself. Okay, something to think about. The last story structure, it's what I call the value theme. Value themes are not a single story. Instead, they're a plot of an ongoing series. Think of a season of your favorite show. The entire season has an underlying theme to it. And then each individual episode, it has its own subplot, and it's got an action sequence, and it's got, it's got an introduction, it's got a middle, and then it's got a conclusion to it. But it ties back into the season. Value themes turn into long-term nurture campaigns. They're your gift to your tribe. You deliver value to them by helping them with their problems long before they buy from you. The more valuable and helpful your value theme, the more likely you will build a relationship with your audience, and the more likely they will eventually buy whatever it is you're selling. I'll give you an example. I follow a podcaster, Tim Ferriss. If you haven't heard of him, years ago he wrote a book called The 4-Hour Workweek. It was a New York Times bestseller. It was a good book. But afterwards, he did something really interesting. He started a podcast where he interviews people, and the podcast and the website that goes with it, they're incredible. He gives it all away for free. I listened to his podcast, and I probably read dozens of his articles on his website. I got so much out of them. So now, all these years later, every time he releases a new book, I automatically buy it. I don't even think twice about it. Not just because I want to read the book, although most of the time I do, but it's a thank you to Tim. That guy has provided tremendous, tremendous value to me, and I absolutely, I've bought everything the guy he's ever published. Subsequently, I think there's a lot of people that probably feel the same way I do. He's sold millions of books. His podcast is more popular than it ever has been because he delivers value. It's one of the most valuable value themes I've ever seen, and I think most brands could follow his example if they wanted to. I'm not saying you have to start a podcast or you got to publish a book, although you might. What I am saying, though, is deliver value, make the world a better place. Seth Godin, he calls it the gift economy, where the more you give away, the better your business will do, just because it will. It's a type of modern day karma. So there you have it. 4 types of brand stories you need in your marketing mix. Look, at the beginning, I mentioned an offer so if you're struggling to build out a value theme for your brand, or you got a question about one of the 4 storylines, you're not sure where to get started, shoot me a link to your website. I'll take a look. I'll give you some ideas on where to get started, either building a value theme or one of the other stories, free of charge. Message me on Instagram. It's Anthony L. Butler, or you can shoot me an email at anthony@candoideas.com. So it's Anthony L. like in Leo Butler. And I'll answer you. It won't be my assistant. It'll be me personally. So, hey, until next time, good marketing to you. Be well.